This is Valley News Live at noon.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news. A gunman is on the run after shooting 8 people at a 4th of July celebration in Minnesota. Police say shots rang out around 11:30 last night at Boom Island Park in Minneapolis. A witness says she was watching people light fireworks when she heard a series of gunshots. Minneapolis Park Police say there were no formal July 4th event or fireworks at the park, but people had gathered to celebrate the holiday. Authorities have not released details about the 8 who were taken to hospitals, but some are hurt critically. As of right now, no one is in police custody. Meanwhile, Chicago police continue to search for a motive after a man unleashed gunfire at another 4th of July parade, killing at least 6 people. We'll bring you that story in just minutes, but first let's go to Summer Schnellbach with a first look at your afternoon forecast. Summer?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're looking in on our Dakota Magic Casino Sky Cam down in Hankinson, North Dakota, where the skies have been darkening, along with some rain that is soon to be moving in. Temperatures, though, this afternoon are quite mild. We're in the 60s and 70s for most. Fergus Falls at 81 degrees at this hour, 74 in Fargo, 73 in Grand Forks. Here's what we're looking at on satellite and radar. We're just fairly cloudy for the Northern Valley and all of Minnesota, but there is some stronger weather on the way. Here we have, moving into the James River Valley and southeastern North Dakota, some moderate to heavy rain and some thunder and lightning to go along with it. But down in South Dakota is where the real story is and will continue to be for today. You can kind of see this, the northern part of this area of rain moving to the east, and the severe weather is gradually moving to the east southeast. And those storms in South Dakota are only expected to intensify as they head towards the Brookings area, Sioux Falls area, with winds expected to exceed 85 miles per hour. JC, we do have a chance for some thunder showers in our neck of the woods. I'll have your hour-by-hour forecast and what we can expect for the rest of the week coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll check back with you in just a little bit. Thank you, Summer. Police in northern Chicago suburb are trying to determine a motive for the gunfire unleashed on a crowd of spectators at a July 4th parade. Bradley Blackburn has more from Highland Park.
Crowds celebrating America's freedom instead confronted terror at the Highland Park 4th of July parade. Monday, a gunman perched on a rooftop killed 6 people and wounded more than 24 others. Revelers tried to hide or flee, leaving behind lawn chairs and lollipops.
You feel like you're just going to get shot when you're running away, and it's just horrible to see all that terror.
The shooting was very rapid and seemed to be a lot of it.
Anesthesiologist Wendy Rush was at the parade. She says she helped one of the victims, who later died.
At the hospital, I've had deaths on the table. I've seen death, and at least I can understand that. I know why it happened. But here I can't understand just the senseless taking of a life.
Police arrested 21-year-old Robert Cremo III, described as a person of interest. Authorities say Cremo posted violent videos and imagery on social media.
This individual is believed to have been responsible for what happened.
Police recovered the rifle allegedly used in the attack. Like the mass shootings in Uvalde and Buffalo, the mayor here says this weapon was legally obtained.
We need to have a very real national conversation about why we're okay with allowing weapons of war on our streets.
Highland Park Mayor Nancy Rotering led yesterday's parade. She also has a past connection to Cremo.
I was his Cub Scout pack leader. He was a little boy at the time. I'm not sure what happened to him to compel him to commit this kind of evil in his hometown.
The victims range in age from 8 to 85, including Nicholas Toledo, a grandfather visiting family, and Jackie Sundheim, who worked at a local synagogue. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Highland Park, Illinois.
Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, 2 Philadelphia police officers are in the hospital after being shot during 4th of July festivities. People were seen running and screaming as gunshots were heard at the celebration. According to police, both officers were transported to a hospital and were placed in stable condition. No suspects have been taken into custody as of this hour. Turning to that troubling police killing of an unarmed black man in Akron, Ohio. The mayor has now declared a state of emergency. Protesters believe police body cam video released by the authorities fails to explain why 8 officers opened fire, hitting Jayland Walker more than 60 times. It's unclear when or if additional body camera footage will be released. Meanwhile, the downtown overnight curfew will remain in effect until further notice. A West Fargo couple is hurt after hitting a deer while riding their motorcycle in Becker County. Minnesota State Patrol officials say 73-year-old Brian Irving was driving on Highway 87 east of Frazee yesterday afternoon when the crash happened. He and his passenger, Beverly Irving, were treated at the Detroit Lakes Hospital. Troopers say neither were wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. And we now know the name of the man who died in a crash in Minnesota. Minnesota state officials say 18-year-old Peyton Larson of Herman, Minnesota died after a rollover crash in Stevens County Sunday afternoon. Larson's car left Highway 9 and rolled. The police report says alcohol was a factor. He was not wearing a seatbelt. Coming up at noon, holidays are a time to get together with family. We've got 2 sisters who did just that for the first time ever. But next, some people across the valley have a chance to see some storms tonight. Stick with us as Summer Schnellbach lets us know exactly where those storms could be right after this short break.